Thumama bin Uthal al-Hanafi, chief of Bani Hanifa, had gone out by order of Musaylama, the liar as Sirah al-Halabiyah 297, to assassinate the Prophet, pbuh. The Prophet's companions tied him to a pole of the prophetic mosque. To a question posed by the Prophet, pbuh, Thumama used to say, "If you were to kill someone, then you would have to choose one of noble descent. If you were to be gracious, then let it be to a grateful man, and if you were to ask for money, you would have to ask for it from a generous man." He repeated that 3 times on 3 different occasions. On the 3rd time, the Prophet, pbuh, ordered that he should be released. He soon went nearby, washed, and then came back to profess the new faith, addressing the Prophet, pbuh, "No face had been more awful to me than yours, but now it is the closest to my heart. No religion had ever been more repugnant to me than yours, now it is the dearest in my heart. Now I want to perform the Umrah, lesser pilgrimage." The Prophet, pbuh, gave him good tidings and asked him to do that. On his arrival in Makkah, the Qurayshites accused him of apostasy. He denied it, and affirmed that he had embraced Islam, and then swore that they would never get grain from Yamama, a suburban area around Makkah, unless the Prophet, pbuh, would allow it. In fact, he did it and refused to send food supplies to Makkah until the Prophet, pbuh, interceded at the Makkans' earnest plea. Zad al-Mad 2-119, Mukhtasar Sirat ar-Rasul, p. 292-293. Bani Lihyan invasion. Bani Lihyan had acted treacherously towards 10 of the Prophet's companions and had them hanged. Their habitation being situated deep in the heart of Hijaz on the borders of Makkah, and due to deep-seated blood revenge between the Muslims, on the one hand, and Quraysh and the Arabians on the other, the Prophet, pbuh, deemed it unwise to penetrate deep and come close to the greatest enemy, Quraysh. However, when the power of the allied confederates collapsed and they began to slacken and resign to the current unfavorable balance of power, the Messenger of Allah, pbuh, seized this rare opportunity and decided that it was time to take revenge on Bani Lihyan. He set out in Rabi al-Awwal or Jamada al-Ula in the year 6 Hijri at the head of 200 Muslim fighters, and made a feint of heading for Syria, then soon changed route towards Batn Garan, the scene of his companions' tragedy, and invoked Allah's mercy on them. News of his march reached Bani Lihyan, who immediately fled to the mountain tops nearby and thus remained out of his reach. On his way back, the Prophet, pbuh, dispatched a group of 10 horsemen to a place called Qura al-Ghanim, in the vicinity of the habitation of Quraysh, in order to indirectly confirm his growing military power. All these skirmishes took 14 days, after which he left back for home.